What are the most common problems that you see? Let's just stick with couples. I mean, what's the most common problems?
Not meeting each other's needs because they don't know what each other's needs are. Loving someone the way that they feel comfortable loving versus loving the way that the other person needs to be loved.
Yeah.
Lack of communication is really, I mean, all relationship problems could basically boil down to a communication problem. I mean, if you peel away the onion far enough, at the core, what you get is a communication breakdown, because people get in their heads, they start creating stories, they start creating meanings, and we're constantly projecting. And communication is something that we were not taught in school, and it does not require perfection. It just requires courage. It requires vulnerability and, kindness. Like if you love someone and all you do is criticize them or blame them, is that loving? It's not. So, but you could say, I really love this person, but your behavior is not loving. So it's really teaching people how to communicate and actually love each other.
Is it a matter of finding the right person or becoming the right person?
It's both. It's both. I think that who you choose matters, but a lot of people will choose based on like a checklist instead of choosing based on what is actually essential own well-being and psychology.
It seems like there's more opportunity than ever to be hurt in relationships, because it seems like it's not like the 50s where you just stick it out. And I mean, they were hurting too, I think, in just a different way. Right?
I think they were definitely hurting.
But I think that, with social media and a million dating apps and like the threats are everywhere.
Yeah, I think that, in the 50s, there was just a lot more certainty. It's like, we got married, we stay married, and now it's like, well, I can have this option over here and the grass is greener over there. And maybe I can do that over there. And so that does make people feel incredibly uncertain and much more vulnerable to rejection, for sure.
Yeah. Well, within that realm of social media and dating apps and things like that, what's the line there? Like, meaning, should you be able to see each other's information? Should you, like, there's always that sort of issue in relationships where you want to look at their phone, or if you think, if I do, I shouldn't be here anyway, or if I feel like I need to.
I think that if you feel like you need to look at your partner's phone, there's two things that could be going on. Number one, you're bringing your old baggage from an old relationship into your current relationship, or something is not going well in your current relationship. You don't feel connected. You're suspicious of something. Trust is the most important thing in a relationship. So you should not feel like you have to check your partner's phone. And if you do, it's definitely an alert. And some people I've worked with, they have felt that impulse just because they've been cheated on in the past, but it's not, it really has nothing to do with their current relationship. It's really about them being able to build that trust muscle within themselves. And for others, it's because they have felt disconnected. They suspect something is going on, but it's not a good sign. Good relationships, it's like, if you're in a relationship and let's just say, it's not an early relationship, like you're in it, you've been together, maybe you're married, you're partnered, and then you go out for dinner and let's just say you forgot your phone, but you really have to check something like important. It's like a work thing. And then you should be able to say to your partner, can I have your phone? I have to check something. And they should be like, yeah, of course. If there is I think you should have each other's codes. Only for that, there should be so much trust that no one's going to snoop, so much trust that there's nothing that you're hiding. That's the level of trust that is really necessary in a relationship.
Right. Because that's actually the same, but different, right? There should be so much trust that the trust is, I'm not going to look at it, but the trust is, here's my code.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They're kind of the
same, opposite sides of the coin.
Exactly.
What happens when trust has been broken?
Depends how it's been broken. Was it broken because of an affair? Was it broken because your partner said that they wanted to do this for a living and they decided to pivot and do something else for a living? Mm-hmm. They changed in some way. Was trust broken because I don't know. They didn't keep a secret.
What is the pathway back to trusting, especially for both sides, for the person that's learning how to trust again and for the person that is trying to earn the trust again?
Apology and accountability. So if someone has betrayed a loved one's trust, they have to be extremely remorseful, and they have to be very apologetic and very accountable. If it's an affair, affairs can be extremely complicated. And oftentimes what you'll find is that it's not a 50-50 split of who's responsible, but even the person who was cheated on, if they want to work on the relationship, they will see that they played a role in whatever was not working in the relationship. It does not condone the behavior.
Right.
But
Right. Doesn't mean they're not wrong, but it just
no,
means that you can see the full picture.
you can see the full picture if you want to repair.
Right.
If you want to repair, you have to repair what was damaged in the relationship that kind of led to that. If it's a big betrayal like an infidelity, they cannot do it alone. You need a third party.
How early should that be something that comes into the relationship?
I think that there's a lot of value in doing it really early on to learn how to communicate best.
Even before a problem.
Before the problem. Absolutely. Because a lot of people go into couples therapy when it's become too late.
Right. And it's not even like when the problem starts, it's like, this is like our last ditch effort.
Yeah, this is what we feel desperate.
What is it that a man looks for in a relationship, and what does a woman generally look for in a relationship?
Well, I think that men and women are more similar than they are different. I think that both men and women get into a relationship for the same things, which is love and companionship. I think women value connection at a really high level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that typically what you have found is that men will value sort of like their purpose, maybe at a higher level, but things are changing. And I think that both women and men need to find some sort of purpose. I think for women, it doesn't necessarily have to be through work for every woman, but I think everyone needs purpose. But I think both men and women are in it for the same thing, but where for attraction to happen inside of a relationship, there has to be polarity. There has to be a duality. And so women typically who are attracted to men, and even some women who are attracted to women typically are attracted to strength. And what they will do is unconsciously test every partner, poke at them, push their buttons, because what they're doing on an unconscious level is figuring out, like, are you going to protect me in a foxhole? Typically, that's not what men are looking for. Maybe there's some gay men who are looking for that, who are looking for that strength and protection. But typically what men are looking for is that they want to really be appreciated, and they want to actually be the hero. And they really want to be respected in that way and seen as strong. And they want to, like, the most attractive thing for a man who dates a woman in particular is she going to let me in? Am I going to be let into her heart?
Yeah.
Or because if it's constant, I don't need you, it's very rejecting. Neediness doesn't work either.
Right.
Right? Neediness doesn't work either. But I think that women typically will get into a relationship to feel a sense of safety and protection. And I don't think that men value that, but they don't value that as much as women do.
Do you mean physical safety and protection?
All of it, emotional, physical, all of the above.
Like, what does it look to be emotionally available?
So I've worked with many men. I've worked with more women than men, but I've worked with a lot of men. And their chief complaint in relationships is, I'm not appreciated. Nothing I ever do is good enough for her or for him. She's stressed out so much that I feel like I can't connect to her. Heart is closed. I don't feel like this is not what they're saying, but this is the meaning behind it. I don't feel like I could be the one who can just like make her life better. She's not letting me do that. This
like idea or experience of containment feels really powerful. Can you explain what that is?
You mean the masculine containment?
Yeah, for a man to be able to provide containment for a
Yeah.
woman.
So I think that one of the hardest things for women, and I've worked with plenty of gay women who struggled this with other women, but in general, like
Mhm.
women with men,
Mhm.
is he can't, it's like his threshold to be able to handle difficult emotion is very low.
Mm.
And when I'm upset, he wants to fix it. And what I need is for him to be so with me and so present. And that's actually what heals me in the moment.
If you like this clip and you want to hear the whole episode, click at the bottom of your screen.